Hi, everyone. Well, I am standing where the roads of bourbon and wine meet, and in my view, it's the best of both worlds. I am going to be reviewing Josh Reserve 2020 Cabernet Sauvignon, bourbon barrel aged in charred oak barrels. Now, I've reviewed a bourbon barrel aged wine similar to this before. It was the Robert Mondavi Private Selection in bourbon, aged in bourbon barrels, and I really liked it. And I've had that often. And I also reviewed a Josh wine of this brand, but it was just a red blend, not aged in bourbon barrels. So this is another Josh wine, but this one is aged in bourbon barrels. And with the term reserve, it makes me think, that it should be a slightly better bottle, better grapes in there. I have a feeling there's a lot going on here. I think this is going to be a big, bold wine. Now, there's a lot. It's a very nice bottle, as you can see, and there's a lot written on here. So I kind of paraphrased and summarized the information on it as follows. This is aged for 2 months in bourbon barrels, giving it notes of cedar, caramel, and a subtle hint of bourbon, which blend with flavors of baked black fruits and hints of barbecued meats. And the nose is complex with aromas of dark chocolate, vanilla, and coffee. That sounds like a lot going on. It sounds like a very bold wine combination. Cabernet Sauvignon on its own is a bold wine, which I happen to like. Cabernet is one of my favorite red wines. Added to the fact that it's been sitting in a bourbon barrel for 2 months, soaking up the flavors and notes from the bourbon barrels. So I think this is going to be really good. We're going to pour it in a glass. We're going to see what we think. Okay, so we have this poured in a wine glass, and we put the cork back in the wine bottle. Now, typically, it's good to let wine, just like actually the same thing does apply to bourbon and whiskey in general. Sometimes it's good to let it sit and breathe, but wine certainly it is good. The oxygen in the air will open it up a little bit. So I kind of find that's actually a very similarity with bourbon and whiskey, where it's good to let it sit. And the other thing is the swirling. There's a lot of similarities as far as wine and bourbon. And I'm just going to kind of give it a little swirl here, which is something very similar to what I do in a Glencairn glass. I just don't want to spill it. It's a little high. But that is the same approach. It's a lot of similarities. The nose is very similar too. The technical way to drink wine is a little different. People swirl in their mouth. I don't really do that. But the point is there are some similarities. So let's get right into this and let's give this a nose. Wow, that is a bold nose. That was definitely. They say it's complex. They're not kidding. I'm actually picking up dark fruit in there. They say the notes here say dark chocolate, vanilla, and coffee. I'm getting dark fruit. I do get some coffee, but very deep, rich notes. And I definitely know, aside from the Cabernet itself and the influence of the bourbon barrel, as they say, for 2 months. So let's give this a taste. Cheers. This is very good. This is very, very good. It is bold. I'm just trying to detect the bourbon notes. There is definitely some very subtle bourbon notes in there. It's funny. I definitely get I'm just looking at the tasting notes. They reference the black fruit, dark fruit. That is a tasting note. That is found in some bourbons. Barbecued meats. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about. But let's give this one more taste. It's very bold. It's very rich. I do detect similar types of notes as to when I had the Robert Mondavi Private Selection Cabernet. Very similar. It basically takes a bold Cabernet and I think makes it bolder and enhances some of the flavors with some bourbon notes. And there are subtle. It's not. I mean, it's not. A bourbon is in a barrel for many years. 2 months. It's subtle. It definitely imparts some of the bourbon notes on it, but at the same time, you still know you're drinking a wine. I guess that's the best way to say it. You know it's a wine, but you do detect a little bit of boldness, a little more bourbon flavor on there. This is very good. I certainly would. I think this is the second Josh wine I've had. That was a red blend. This is a Cabernet bourbon barrel aged. I like the Robert Mondavi Private Selection bourbon barrel aged. So this is definitely I think this is very good and not very expensive. I happen to see it in the store. Very, very reasonable. Cheers. Thanks for watching. Take care.